Now, what else differentiates you from other loan officers, especially here in the Charlotte area?
Um, I preach community a lot. When I say community, I don't mean Charlotte community, which obviously I care about my Charlotte community. I mean relationships.
Okay.
So I do what I do, and I love the money, but I love the people more. And I know it's such an oxymoron to hear me say I love the people. But I really care about my clients. I really do. So once we're done, I like the fact that my clients aren't done. They're not a part of my past. They're a part of my current, my present, my future, and moving forward. So I'm going to be the guy that actually holds your hand and sees you through it personally. I'm going to always be a friend, an ally, a resource, even when the closing papers have been signed.
Gotcha. Gotcha. That's perfect. Now, the closing papers, that's definitely that's the target for everybody. Let's get these closing papers signed. Walk us through what the process is on your side, because with all the different people and all the different entities that touch a real estate transaction, buyers and sellers are sometimes not clear about what each individual person, each individual entity does. So on the loan officer side, walk us through what your process looks like.
And keep in mind, every LO is different how they operate their team. It is a small army that supports me to help every client get from start to finish. There are so many moving parts and so many hands involved that I think people lose, I guess, the impact that's really being made. Mm-hmm. So someone comes in, a realtor like yourself refers them to me, and we have an initial conversation. Typically speaking, I want that first conversation. In that first conversation, I can kind of say, hey, here's where you are, and here's what you need. And depending on where you are, if you need to get your assets together, your credit together, we'll schedule an immediate one-on-one call with me where we can focus on that. If you have all of your ducks in a row, you'll go straight into application, and then after application is done, you'll come to me. So my team's 3 lovely young ladies and a couple guys that we bring to the application. After the application is in, we're going to get your financial documents, W-2s, pay stubs. Now, financial documents can be different for everyone. Okay. So if you are retired, you may not have W-2s if you get Social Security, right? If you're VA disability, you're going to get an awards letter and not a pay stub per se. So we're going to ask for different things based upon your individual scenario. After we get those, on my team, we go straight to underwriting, okay, to seek full approval. Once we have the underwriting approval, it'll come back with conditions. Now, our goal is to look at those conditions and say, hey, is there anything on this list that we need to take care of right now? Mm-hmm. Is there anything outside the norm? If there's not, once you find a home, we'll issue a pre-approval, you go out and find a home, and then we're looking at title, appraisal, homeowners insurance, and making sure the home is in just good living standards. Yeah. So from there, we go back into underwriting, and we're probably cleared to close 4 or 5 days later.
Nice. Those are my favorite words, clear to close. So sorry if it got me a little distracted. No, but no, that's good though, because I think sometimes we assume that people know what happens behind the scenes, and they don't. And that's whether it's the attorney, whether it's the realtor, whether it's the loan officer. So I appreciate you walking us through that.
Yeah, behind the scenes, there's a lot more chaos than we ever tell people.
Oh yeah.
But it's our job to make sure that you don't experience the chaos firsthand.
Yeah. Yeah. Now, you also mentioned that you like to have a conversation, a voice-to-voice conversation. Talk to me a little bit about why you value voice-to-voice communication.
Well, I value voice communication for a lot of reasons. First, I feel like it's becoming a lost art. Secondly, when we speak, I can hear how your tone of voice change. Mm-hmm. That allows me to feel like there's a pain point here. If your tone of voice changed during a conversation, I need to take a second and say, hey, well, let's dive into that more. What's going on? Mm-hmm. Tell me about that. Let me grab that fear so I can help tell you it's not a real fear. Or if it is, how do we manage that fear? So I want to do voice to voice. Also, in text message and email, anything can be interpreted the wrong way. Right. So I want to make sure you know, hey, I'm here, I'm an ally, I'm for you, and I'm looking for your challenges so I can help make sure you sleep well at night while we're going through this process together.